How's it going, guys? HeroGamezFTW here with the top 10 characters I'd add to the Legends mod. Now, this video was originally going to be a top 5 characters I'd add to the Legends mod, but there are way too many characters that I like, so I decided to make it a top 10. Before we begin, let's get some honorable mentions going. First honorable mention is Nova. Being kind of the Green Lantern of the Marvel Universe, I just had to add him. Like, come on, who doesn't want to become a living rocket? Second honorable mention is Moon Knight. I personally really like Moon Knight, and if his addition added something new to the mod, he would have definitely made the list. But regardless, I'm a huge Moon Knight fan, and I can't wait for his Disney Plus appearance, so can we make that happen quickly? Please? Pretty please? Third honorable mention is Cloak and Dagger. So I've recently watched the show Cloak and Dagger and I honestly really liked it. I think these two would be a great pair to add to the mod and would be so cool to figure out how they would function in the mod together. Okay, let's move on. We'll have more honorable mentions as we dive deeper into the video. Number 10. Symbiote Spider-Man. Now the reason Symbiote Spider-Man is in the 10th spot is just due to how unique he is and what he could do in the mod. Probably because I also love Spider-Man, so yeah. But if you have seen my Symbiote Spider-Man suitabilities prediction video, you would know that he is pretty unique and wouldn't just be a Symbiote Legacy reskin. I was debating about putting him here, but with what his abilities are, I just had to add him. Number 9. The Green Goblin. I know there's a lot of Spider-Man stuff on this list, and that's probably because of how unique the Spider-Man related content is. Like the Green Goblin himself, the reason he's on the list is simply because of how the glider would work. Imagine yourself on a glider, just throwing out pumpkin bombs like it's no one's business. Green Goblin would just have a great versatility, and I'm all for it. Overall, Green Goblin would just be a fun character to play around with. Number 8. And here we have the Carnage. What's really to say? He's a darker version of Venom, well being Venom's offspring. I would so add this guy due to how badass he is, and how he can basically take on Venom and Spider-Man at the same time. Also, because Carnage wouldn't get the weakness of sound and fire like Symbiote Spider-Man and Venom. I don't know about you, but a guy who can legitimately drain your life force sounds pretty cool to me. Carnage also wouldn't just be some symbiote reskin. He'd be his own character, having unique abilities. Carnage ain't no joke, man, taking on Venom and Spider-Man at the same time.
I'll get out of here, and I will. There's gonna be carnage.
Number 7. Pennywise the Dancing Clown. That's right, the clown that was somehow defeated by a bunch of kids who called themselves the Losers Club made it onto the list. What was I thinking? Was there any doubt he'd make it? So, if you have a brother named Georgie, you might want to keep him in his room for this one. Just saying. I added him to the list because of how he'd work and how different he is compared to the other horror characters. Being an alien that feeds on fear for a living is pretty cool to me, and the fact that he can shapeshift into your scariest fears pushes him over the edge for me. I wouldn't look too deep into his face though, because if you do, you'll be entrapped in the deadlights/deadlocks, and you wouldn't even know it. I could see this character being top tier due to his incredible power. Time will tell, however. Number 6. Mysterio. Mysterio. Yes. Just yes. He's such a unique character due to all his illusions that he created with technology. Mysterio would be one of the most unique characters in the game because of all his spells/illusions he could cast. Back off, Miss Marvel, there's a new kid in town, as Mysterio can also kind of embiggen himself. Since technology is embedded in his moveset, many of his moves are just holograms, but that's where he gets you, because not everything he sends your way is a hologram. There might actually be a robot in the mist ready to attack. Would be kind of cool if Spider-Man could almost like see through Mysterio's illusions. That'd be cool. Alright, so before we move on to the top 3, I do want to give out 2 more honorable mentions, so let's get to it. First one being Godspeed, mostly because of his uniqueness, being able to drain the speed of speedsters and create a clone of himself, but also giving that clone 50% of his speed, so he'd have 50%, but you're basically minusing 50% from yourself. Plus, his model would look amazing, and ooh boy, don't get me started on that trail. Second honorable mention goes to Raven, the daughter of Trigon herself. Her magic abilities alone are really cool, and she would have definitely made it onto the list if she was a more enjoyable character in my opinion. Third honorable mention goes to Beast Boy. This character is so cool because of his shape-shifting capabilities. He'd honestly be such a fun character to be. Just turn into a T-Rex and have a blast. He would also seem to perform well in PvP against other characters in mod. Alright, also I want to give a shout out to Joseph Poke and Jesus Rodriguez for being a Patreon of mine. Thank you guys so much for helping out the channel. If you guys want to become a Patreon and get exclusive pictures of models I've been making for the Legends mod and more, check the description below or type in the link you see right here on the screen. Moving on to number 5. It started with an elephant did what it did. Now he's got stomach issues, he's no ordinary elephant, he's calf 10. I think that's how it goes. Anyway, this is probably the most unlikely character to be added into the mod, but hey, I just had to add him. Ben 10 is probably one of the coolest heroes created, being able to change into any alien by dramatically and slowly tapping his watch. I think we all realistically would love this character in the mod, due to really his uniqueness in the aliens he can become. Overall, probably won't happen, but I just had to include him. Number 4. Probably one of the most requested characters in the Legends mod Discord, Iron Man Mark 50/85. I honestly love RDJ's interpretation as Iron Man. Iron Man definitely is a top 3 hero for me. I love the nanotechnology this suit incorporates, and wouldn't just be your run-of-the-mill Iron Man suit. It's way different. So this suit as well was a must-add. It is also extremely powerful with tons of features, such as those swords and that massive repulsive blast. Closing off Iron Man, he will be an amazing addition to the mod and will fit in perfectly. I can imagine tons of people immediately going after him, either in single player or on the server. Number 3. The one who mastered the mystic arts. You know him, you love him, Dr. Stephen Strange. I honestly love magic type characters in general, so Dr. Strange was a pretty obvious choice for me. And I think his appearance in the mod is long overdue, don't you? His magic is really cool as well. For example, the images of Icon and just the way he conjures magic is so visibly pleasing that it took over the other magic characters I considered putting on the list. He also proves himself to be an extremely powerful combatant, and is someone you do not want to piss off in the slightest. Number 2. In quivering bowls in times of strain, beware our pants so brownly stained. Let those who close the toilet bowl beware our power brown lantern's pants. Shout out to Extremis for that one. He made that and I just had to include it on here. It was way too funny not to. Okay, anyway, shout out. Making the number 2 spot is Green Lantern Hal Jordan. Green Lantern is definitely in my top 5. Mostly because of his cool constructs and how he uses them in battle. I love his oath, and when he's added, you'll most likely hear me in the corner resetting it 24/7. Just saying. Like Doctor Strange, I think this character is also long overdue. Let me know what you guys think. Before we go to number 1, I want to give out the last wave of honorable mentions. First honorable mention goes to Scarlet Witch. This is one of the magic users I debated putting on the list because of how powerful she is. I'd almost say she's tier 6 material. Second honorable mention goes to one of the most famous and suggested, Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. I didn't put him on the list because, well, he would have obviously been like number 1. So technically this is the top 11, because now you know my true number 1. Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet and every stone in hand could potentially even be above a tier 6, who knows. Thanos is immensely powerful, with the power of space, time, power, mind, and the Soul Stone. Last honorable mention goes to Doctor Doom. What's cooler than a magic user? A magic user that enhances himself with technology. I was heavily debating putting him on the list, but I didn't. Anyway, he's really cool. Now for number 1. But before that, let's get into a joke. Where does an octopus keep its money? In its octopurse! Hilarious, I know! In number 1, we got Doc Ock. Now this might be the most controversial on the list, but I just think Doc Ock would play so differently than the other characters because of his 4 extra arms being able to propel him off the ground and have amazing animations with his tentacles. Maybe also having some Ock drones. Dr. Octopus's addition in the mod would be astonishing because of his versatility and all that he can do. Maybe even a Doc Ock boss in the future. Now that'd be cool.
What do? You're in an enclosed space, web slinger. Where can you hide?
Well, that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe and like if you made it this far. Make sure to comment cool beans if you guys stayed till the end. I'll make sure to heart your comment if you do. And make sure to let me know what your top 10 list is. Remember, my list isn't the right list, it's just my opinion. So until next time, twip you later.